Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hello, I am Emmy. So if you're someone who has recently got a bad grade or do not know what to do when getting a bad grade, then this is a video made for you. Subscribe for more upcoming videos on live streams and studies, and let's get started. So the short answer to this question is accept it. But you might not be interested in the short answer because everyone seems to say so. So let's get into the long answer. So the long answer is divided into two parts. The first thing I want to talk about is some key points that you have to realize when you get a bad grade. And the first key point is you can't do anything about it. Some people have a really bad time after getting a bad grade, which is okay. But when this starts to last for too long, it can cause a bit of problem. What you have to understand is you can't do anything about it. You can't change it unless you can somehow bribe your teacher to change the grade. So if you are somehow rational, then you have to understand that just staying there and staring at that grade can't help you at all. And then the second key point to realize is this is not the end of the world. The world does not stop working because you've got a bad grade. And what I always tell myself is that something worse could have happened, and this really smooths my agitation. And I think this thought process is very helpful in getting us away from that down mood caused by the bad grade. You have to understand that your life is not finished yet, so you have to keep moving. And then the last point to realize is you can always learn something from it. So if you are a type of business-based individual, meaning that you perceive everything as a sort of transaction, in that if you give something away you must get something back, then getting a bad grade is not actually that bad, because at least you're not just giving off, you're actually getting something back, and that something back is the learning. And this is actually a very important point that will connect back to what we'll talk about later on, about what we actually can do when we get a bad grade, because not everyone is able to learn something from a bad grade. It does require a certain level of maturity, of patience, and severity facing the academics. So now let's pass to our second point, what actually to do when you get a bad grade. Well, you have a lot of things to do. The first thing is to plan. You must write out a plan for what to do in this next few months. And here are some points that you can reflect upon when making your plan. So what sort of assessments there could be in these next few months of this semester? What are the assessments I'm most confident with, and what are those that I am least confident with? And then what are the relative weights of these assessments? After you think about this, you can then plan out a study routine to improve your skills on the assessments that you feel least confident with, and therefore plan out your study routine. This is hugely helpful to get you improve your skills and possibly get those grades back in the future. As always, this requires you to be a long-sighted person. You can't just think, okay, yeah, no, tomorrow I have to get that grade back. Life is not always like this. You can't immediately get something back after you have lost something. You have to wait, you have to be patient, you have to put in the effort before you can actually get something back. And then the second thing you have to do is reflect. And this is the action to do if you want to actually learn something from that bad grade. So you don't want your bad grade to just go away without getting anything from it. So you want to do some reflections upon it. Here are some points that you can reflect upon. So what caused that bad grade to happen? Is it because of me or my teacher? How did my classmates perform? And I think this second point is very important because we're human beings and we tend to look to other people's behavior. We want to compare theirs with our own. So accessing how other people did in this assessment or test is going to really help you to understand whether it's your weakness or it's because of something else. What are the errors that I could not have made if I paid more attention or whatever? And then lastly, are there anything besides the academics that could have influenced my performance in this test or assessment? So something in your life, is there any stressor that is affecting your concentration, whatever? Reflect upon those. A key point to mention is reflect, but do not reflect too much, because psychology has shown that if people think too much about the past and just stick with that event, then it's very difficult for them to move on, and this is not what we want. We want to move on, but we want to get that learning from that bad grade and then move on. So spend a little bit of time reflecting upon why you got that bad grade and then just live it, because you have to face forward. What is in front of you is not the past, it's the future. Okay, and then the last thing, which I think is the most important, is encourage yourself and smile. Now, this might seem a bit childish, but it's really not. I think the most powerful motivation does not come from other people, it comes from you. So when I get a bad grade, I'll remain sad for a while, but then I'll say to myself, you're not gonna be defeated by this, aren't you? So just get up and keep moving. And this truly works, because if you don't accept yourself, then no one will accept you. So I always think to myself, be friendly with yourself. And because I tend to be, and I know as a lot of perfectionists do, we tend to be quite harsh to ourselves, setting up like really difficult goals for us to achieve, and that's okay, but at the same time we have to remember that we're human beings and we need encouragement, we need motivation to do well. So encourage yourself, do not just let it go, and do not wait for other people to encourage you, to motivate you, because those are not gonna work quite as strong as if you encourage yourself. So what is the morale behind the story? It is accept it. So accept the bad grade, be friendly with it, and understand that those bad grades are not representative of you as an individual and as a person. Rather, perceive those difficult times of getting bad grades as chances to grow and to become a more mature individual. So during this past semester, I've got some of the worst grades that I have ever got as a student. I have been sad when getting those grades, but then I realized that it is those grades that helped me to grow, and it completely changed my mindset and views regarding these numbers and my life in general. So I think it's really worthwhile getting those bad grades. So I really hope this video has been helpful to you, because I know we as students, we always have to face these things. It's not possible for us to live as a student without experiencing a bad grade. So really be kind to yourself, not too harsh, and know this is not the end of the world, and just keep moving. So I'll see you in the next video, and bye bye.